everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank y'all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
What's up? Something Something Brax.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, so I am originally from Springfield, Oregon, and I live in Portland now, and I make rap music. I'm a rapper. I make beats, and been doing that for quite some time. I've been in Portland for 8 years now, just
Gotcha. Okay.
grinding a little bit.
Have you ever lived anywhere outside of Oregon?
Yeah, I was born in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I moved around a lot as a kid, but all my conscious memories are in Oregon for the most part.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what was the start for you in music? What was the first instances there?
Oh shoot, man. I probably started. I think I probably wrote my first rap song when I was 11 or 12.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that for a long time, freestyling with my friends, just kind of messing around. I don't have a very musical family. I didn't grow up playing instruments or anything like that. So I just been scribbling words on pieces of paper and trying to think of things to say to make my friends laugh for a lot of time.
Gotcha. Okay. But were you listening to rap and hip hop at a pretty early age?
Yeah, man. I'm the age where it's I don't really remember not hearing rap. So it's if someone was when's the first time you heard a hip hop song? It's I don't know, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Whenever. But I do remember that was my mom, she might have liked Rapper's Delight or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it wasn't a bunch of people in my family were really into it other than maybe my cousin. So it was the first thing where I was oh, this is my music. This is what I love.
Okay.
And so I've been just kind of obsessed with it since I can remember.
Oh yeah, I dig that. Now before we get into more of what you do in the present day, I do have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on. This first one's one we ask early, it's one we ask often. It's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I know the answer to that. Okay, let me think. Because again, I'm in my early 30s.
I got
I was on LimeWire and BearShare and Kazaa and all that.
I feel you.
Yeah. I don't know that it's I can't say for sure that it's the first album I bought, but the first thing that comes to mind is probably Get Rich or Die Trying.
Ooh, okay. I mean, that's a quality one for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Even if that's an early choice, that's a good choice. Mm. What made you pick that? What was appealing about it to you?
Indie club.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
When you hear that, you're I gotta know what else.
Yeah, I wanted 50 Cent. He's the best. Let's listen to this whole album.
Yeah.
Because I think I probably would have been already downloading music by then, but I don't know that I don't know. I think it was just such a big song and I loved it so much. I was I gotta get this album. And back then, my mom was you can listen to whatever you want, but it's got to be the edited version. So she took me to Walmart and I bought the edited version of Get Rich or Die Trying, which I can't imagine was as good as the original.
No. I will say there are very rare instances where the edited version is actually where you're you guys didn't have to go that over the top and be explicit. We get it, but you didn't have to do that. So I fully understand. But yeah, that's still a super solid choice though.
Yeah.
And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to? That was like specifically one you wanted to go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you saw what was happening. You got the ticket. You went to it.
I remember this one very vividly. It was me and a couple homies, and I want to say my sister's boyfriend was our chaperone because we were in middle school, but it was AC Alone, the Percussions, Ugly Duckling, Recognize, and Mayday. It was at the Wow Hall in Eugene.
Whoa.
It's like I had just figured, like I had just heard of this thing called underground rap. I was on like MySpace or whatever, and I was really
Robots.
yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding.
Bumped the mic with my shoulder on that one. But yeah, I just remember, like I was just on like it was just like a little MySpace fiend, just like what is like this music that no one I know knows about. I want to be such a pretentious little, about it. So yeah, and so I got really into like Project Blowed, and plus like at that time, like I was a little late probably because this is probably like 05, 06, but at that time, like I feel like underground or indie rap or whatever you want to call it was like that was like the college music, I guess. Like by the time I was college age, it was like dubstep was like the big thing that everyone was into. But like,
but right around the time period you said that is it exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, I grew up in Springfield, which is right next to Eugene. So it's like every like DIY indie underground artist who is like, oh, I got to get from Portland to the Bay. Where do I stop? They all stopped in Eugene.
Exactly.
So that was like a great era for going to shows. But that was the first one I went to. And then like from that moment till even today, like that's like my number one, like, oh, I want to do something fun with my friends. Oh, I want to go out. What am I going to do? Oh, what shows are coming to town today? So that was kind of like the big start of that.
Gotcha. Hell yeah, I dig that. And then before we officially get into the now, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Oof. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would probably be like in high, like I probably, like I said, I started like writing raps, like not telling anyone about it, like in middle school. And then like in high school, like I played sports and stuff, but like all my friends were like snowboarders and skateboarders and like the stuff that they were into, like I wanted to be like, okay, this is my thing. And so it was like, I started like, telling people that I rapped. I was like, started making songs, like not like anything groundbreaking, like that's mixtape era. So it's like I would just steal whatever beat was and like make my own version of it. But there was like this, I couldn't even tell you what the event was, but there was like, they needed live music for something, and one of my friends organized it and like, yo, do you want to play the show? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, oh shoot, I don't have any music. So I was like, all right, let me like quickly take 10 beats, because I didn't know anyone who made beats back then. I didn't make beats back then. Take 10 beats that I like and then make songs with them with a couple of my friends, and we played the show, and I was just like, oh wow, this is like a really cool feeling. Like I love performing. I didn't know that I loved performing. And so yeah, that kind of was like, okay, this is something I want to do. And then I kind of just started doing it like college age, and then been doing it ever since.
Hell yeah, I dig that. That's rad. Man, the first show, that one will get you. That one will get, like, if you love it right away, that's where you're gonna end up.
Yeah,
like, that's a huge moment for sure.
Yeah, there's no way it was good. I mean, it's like all my friends were really into it, and I was like, oh yeah.
Good is subjective.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
it
like I have known many shows where like I knew two different people that went to the same show, came back, got two very different reviews about the same stats. Even they were like, one person was like, the sound was crap. The other person was like, the sound was amazing. And I knew they weren't standing far from each other.
Right.
All right. Yeah. So subjective.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm sure it wasn't great.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. It could not have been good.
All right, but let's go ahead. Let's get on into more of the present day.
Ooh.
And we're going to get a super easy one out of the way first. How'd you pick the name?
How'd I pick? Oh, so Brax was just like my nickname for a while. I don't remember when it stuck, but that's just kind of the name I have had. And then back in Eugene, when I was doing a lot of shows, I had this band called Breakfast Boys Leisure League. So I was going by Breakfast Boy Brax. And then the band, we decided we didn't want to be a band anymore. And so like I didn't know, like I just didn't want to just be Brax. That's terrible SEO. There's a lot of Braxes out there.
Yeah, very much so.
So I didn't really have anything. And at the time, this is like 2019, I was making a lot of music. I still make a lot of music with my homeboy Tron, Old Grape God. And I came over one day to record a song, and I was just wearing like I don't remember why, but I was wearing like a button-down shirt and like slacks. I was like business casual, and he just like he credited me on the song as Business Boy Brax. And then like somehow, I don't know exactly how it happened, but Tron definitely gave me the name where it kind of just like turned into Something Something Brax. So there'd be a different like adjective Brax, and then so Something Something Brax is just what I went with.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool story. I dig that. And it's cool because I'll be honest, it's a little on the big side.
Yeah.
As names goes, it would technically be a little on the wordy side, but you somehow found like such a catchable phrase and made it a name where it's like, it just works. Like it's easy to remember. It rolls off the tongue. It looks cool on stuff. Yeah. And you could do like big, I do this bit where I break down names. I meant to say it at the beginning, but you can also do a lot of like big stuff, a lot of small stuff. It reads well. And I mean, you can even acronym yourself if you really wanted to, you know what I mean? You could just be SSB. Yeah. You could steal the Nike SB font for that and just deal with the PPO on the back end.
Yeah. I'm people who design flyers probably hate me though.
Oh, I mean, they don't care if the show's not making billions of dollars. You know what I mean? That is too much to take to court. But we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about you. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, man.
Now I want to get into more of your music, your writing style, how you make it. Yeah. We're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when you get inspired, you're ready to make music. What do you do to get a track started?
I guess it depends on the day. So like, I'm gonna probably butcher the quote, and I don't remember who said it, but I once read a quote where someone's like, "Yeah, I wait till inspiration strikes me to begin my work, and I make sure inspiration hits me every day at 7 a.m." You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So it's just like I just like make music every day, and it could be like I don't have any idea what I'm gonna do, so I'll just bang out a beat, and then I'll sit there until something that resembles a song happens, and then I'll decide after. I try not to like decide if it's good or bad while I'm doing it. Yeah. More often than not, it's bad. Less like more bad ideas than good ideas, but I think the bad ideas are important to get out of the way. Or it's like someone will send me a beat and be like, "Oh, I want a feature," or like, "Yo, here's like a pack of beats," and so it's just like depending on where I'm at in terms of like if I have beats already or if I'm gonna make beats myself. And then I just kind of go, and then like just throughout the day, I just write down little observations, or if I read something that I think is cool, I'll write it down and I'll flip it later. So I try to always have like ammo, I guess, of like what might make it into a song, or what am I going to write down and then forget that I wrote it down and then discover it 8 years later and be like, why did I write that down?
Have you ever used anything you've written down 8 years later?
I don't know about that long, but yeah, I've definitely just been kind of like flipping through old notebooks or like cleaning out my notes app and being like, I wrote this in 2016. What? And then, but I don't know about 8 years specifically, but yeah, definitely like stuff that like, I was like, oh, this is a good idea to put it into a bar or something. Let me write this down. And then I find it like mad later.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Like that. And you mentioned that you do some production as well. Or do you make your own beats regularly?
So the last album I put out, I made all the beats for that. So I like taught myself how to make beats a long time ago, and then for a while it was just something that I did, like something like artistic or something to like that was just like for fun, that I was like, I don't have to put any pressure on this. I don't have to
like all the producers who have a DJ setup at home just because they want a DJ, just like not to like make money off of.
Yeah, it's just something fun I can do that I don't have to worry about sharing later. And then like I was like, oh, I kind of like these beats. Let me try to write on them. And then I just, with the last album, I had some stuff I wanted to get out and I didn't have any beats. So I was like, all right, well, I have like hundreds of beats I've made over the last couple of years. So let me just kind of take these and see. And then like since then, that's pretty much I would say probably like 50-50 now. It's like beats I've made or beats other people have made.
Gotcha. But I guess then at this point, are you making beats for yourself now, or do you just have such a large vault you're always just pulling from the past?
No, like I said, I make music every day, so it's like I usually make a beat, at least a beat every day.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And then once you get a track finished writing. So like, I guess when it comes to the words, are you typically a pen to paper guy? Do you put it in your notes all the time? Or like when it comes time to like work on the music side of things, how do you mainly get it there?
iPhone notes app, baby.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't write things down. Like for whatever reason, like that creates like some kind of weird block for me. Like I used to, like back before I had an iPhone, I would write down pen and paper, but I probably haven't done that since I was like, I don't know, 18, 19.
That's fair. It's definitely a lot faster and backlit. For some reason, studios always have to be so dark now. Yeah. Like having that on the back end is helpful.
Plus, I think it's awkward to just like when you're trying to like record a verse holding like a notebook ahead of you. Like I'm not that strong. So it's like, arms getting tired.
No, I feel you. And then once you get a track finished, like writing or being written, you're ready to like memorize it, get it out there. How long does it usually take you to feel comfortable enough to like perform a track?
That's actually a very topical question because I played a show with my my homie Spinach had a show yesterday.
Oh, Spinach.
Yeah. And we wrote a song. So we had the show yesterday and we wrote the song the day before. Tried to do that, and then I was like, and then I tried to like I had someone in the crowd like hold the phone up for me, and then I got like halfway through the verse, I was like, I can't read that, and then I was like, I'll just freestyle the rest of this. So it was a disaster.
Did you have fun though?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Okay.
And we did other songs too that went better. But yeah, it kind of just depends. Like, there's no like. There are some songs that I write that like will just like sit in a vault forever and will never be performed and will never be recorded. And then there's some where I like, I really love this. I'm going to play this at my next show way before it's ever recorded. It kind of just depends. I think though, like ideally, I do like to like kind of like test songs out live before I record them.
It's the best way to do it in my personal opinion. I think that like if you don't take a song outside before you press it down, you're not going to really know what's going to happen with it when it goes outside.
For sure. And it's like so many times where like I'll perform a song, like I'll have already released a song and I'll perform it a bunch and I have a completely new relationship with it. And like the way I might say a certain word or the way I might like kind of write the beat might change a little bit. And I'm like, dang, I wish I would have like not released this already because like I like this version better.
You can always redo a song.
I guess I could.
That is actually, you could do an entire album of re-release songs, guise it as that. Yeah. Putting it here now. Feel free to take that. That would be dope. I love it when people revisit their old work and like bring it to light with their like experiences of now. So like not do it like with a song you did last year kind of thing, but like early stuff where you were on to something, but like you just didn't have that now knowledge. That's actually a really cool experience. I wish more people did kind of as a, not like every month kind of thing, but like once in a while, if they dropped a small batch of them. I dig that. So. Yeah,
I do a lot of part twos. Like I do a lot of songs where it's like it's the same song, but it's a different beat and different words. But like the way I like write the verse is the same, and like I just kind of change the words. And so like on my last album, there's a song, I don't even remember what the name of the song on the album is. I remember the demo name, but it's basically literally the exact same song I put out in 2019, but with like an updated version of it. So I do that a lot. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, actually, that segues well. Let's go ahead and let's talk about some of your music.
Cool.
So I jumped on ye old Spotify, and you've got music on there technically back to 2023, but you also have like a million features. You are in a ton of things. So like your list is actually like this long, but I was checking out the stuff that was like directly you, and your sound is cool. It's really interesting. Like lyrically, it's tight. Like you've got solid wordplay, you know where to like put everything, you know how to like piece everything together really well. But your delivery is so like slippery is the word I want to use. Like it kind of has this like it's very like not like specifically sound wise, but your old Drew does this really well. Like where it's just like you know how to play in and out of timing in a really cool way where like you become your own element without like disassociating from the song. So that is like, you basically have like the West Coast equivalent of like that East Coast focus on lyricism. So that's just a really cool perspective I took away from your music I wanted to share.
Appreciate you.
But like I said, you've also worked with a million people. I mean, shout out to Spinach, like I said before, Milk, Win. You did a track with Machado Majiga.
Yeah.
Shout out to Machado.
Machado.
that was a cool surprise for me because that guy works so hard and puts out more music than literally anybody I know. So that when I was going through your list, I was like, yeah, that was a fun one to listen to. But I'm sorry, I've rambled forever. I do want to talk about your most recent album, though, or at least the one that's on there. Is it Cazadero Sketchbook? Did I say that right?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, it's named after a trail I was walking on a lot last year, so I actually don't know the proper way to pronounce it. I said Cazadero, but
okay, cool. At least I say it the same way you do.
Yeah,
it's solid. I mean, but it's got a lot of kind of what I said earlier, so I can't say too much on it. But like, it's put together really well. It's got a good continuation from the previous album that's on there, Sunshine and Lollipops. And it feels really tight. It's cool to hear music like that coming from here because there's these like, there's definitely this like well of like this level of attention to the music happening right now. And I'm really excited to see what comes from it. So thanks for making cool music.
I appreciate you.
But I am curious to know, out of all the music you have out there, what are some of your favorite tracks to perform?
Yeah,
what's the ones that you like get out there?
So there's two that like I literally are almost in like quite literally every set. So one is from a song that you probably didn't catch on Spotify because it's under, I don't even remember if it's under Breakfast Boys Leisure League or Breakfast Boy Brax, but it's a song called Pops Mensa Bonsu that my homie Ken Mastro Giovanni made the beat for. So I play that song almost every set. It's like my comfort song. It's like, okay, when I'm feeling like a little nervous or whatever, it's like, let me put this song on. I've done it like hundreds of times. I know how to do it. It's gonna go well. And then I'm like, lately I've been opening every song or every set with this song that I call In Those Jeans Part 2, which is I think it's a funny title. It's a play on the Genuine song. And the reason I like that song so much, it's the first song I ever released over one of the beats that I made. So it's just one of those songs that tickles my brain, and whether or not other people like it, they're getting it every show.
I mean, you got to do some of it for you.
That's almost all of it's for me, yo.
Well, I mean, if you like it, somebody else will like it.
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, like I told you, man, I've been listening to rap music my whole life, and like I love it. And I figure if I like it, there's a chance that like at least some other people will like it. Yeah. Maybe not everyone, but at least a couple other people will.
Well, like I said, man, I listen to a lot of it, especially doing this, and I can say for sure, just you have a good focus on like how you deliver your side of things, and knowing the beats are yours as well is a really cool element, but like there is a togetherness in your sound that is very apparent from the outside in. So
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But now I want to zoom out a little bit. I want to look at more music as a whole. Okay. What are you taking in right now? What are you just listening to as a human being?
Okay.
Human music.
Yeah, actual human music.
No.
So recently, like my favorite rapper right now is this dude Wi-Fi God.
Cool name.
Yeah, it's a cool name. I think he's out of DC. He's out of the DMV area. I think DC specifically, but I might not be right about that. But yeah, he makes it's like wonderful music to listen to when you're like driving around. You want to listen to music really loud. So I've been listening to a lot of that. It's been sunny out in Portland lately, so I've been listening to this sort of dream pop band, I guess, called Wishy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Wishy. It's kind of like if Third Eye Blind were a little heavier.
Okay.
So I've been into that a lot lately.
It's a cool description. I don't know them. I'm really excited to check them out now.
They're so fire. I love that band. And then like I don't know. I'd say like if it like on the drive up here, that's what I was listening to. Just both of those artists a lot. And I don't know. It's like one of those things that's like I freeze every time that question. It's like I listen to music all day, every day. I was like, what did I listen to earlier? So
I could probably only ever like say what I listened to last.
Yeah.
I mean, like it can never be like what was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I try to put on a new album every day on my way to work. That's a fun little twist in my day. And that has been it's hit or miss for sure. But you're stuck listening to it for like the 25-minute drive anyways.
Yeah. I try to, I like every year I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to a new album I've never heard every single day. And then I do that for like a month. And then it's like, oh, let me just listen to the same 100 songs that I know every word to.
There have been times where I'm like, I can't wait to pull into my work parking lot so I can hit stop. So I don't get through every album for sure, but it just spices things up a little.
Right.
And it's just like because at the beginning of the day is when I'm like, only as engaged as I need to be to drive safely because I care about the people around me and I don't want to crash my car.
Absolutely.
it's nice to like have something where I'm like, it may pique my interest and like tune me in quicker. So it's like when it's good, it's like caffeine.
Yeah.
Better because it's not caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. All right. Now, before we move on to the next portion, this next question is probably the densest question in the interview. But we talked about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
This might be a little macabre, but I remember when, like, this is a couple years ago, like someone like posted like a screenshot of FL Studio and it's like, ladies, if your man has this, like, get away. And then someone replied to it and it's like, if it wasn't for this and the gym, a lot of people I know would be dead. And like, I literally feel that way. It's like it's like whether or not I put it out or anyone listens to it or anyone cares, it's like just the act of like putting my brain somewhere else for a little bit. It just like helps me like stay alive, to be honest with you. It's like calming. It's frustrating too. Like making music's not always like I always find fun, but like you've made music, like it's frustrating sometimes too.
Trust me, being the solo person making all of this too.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
But like if you're working on a song and then like it's like you've been like just kind of ramming your head against the wall and you finish it, and again, it doesn't even have to be good, but if it's done, you're just like, okay, well, I did something today. I created something today. I like something didn't exist and now it exists. That is kind of why I do it. That's like what music gives me. It's like gives me that sort of like focus, that purpose, that like I'm gonna use my energy to do this today, and I have like for however many hours I'm sitting there. It's like that's all I'm focused on. So that's why I love it and why I do it.
Hell yeah, man! I can definitely relate with that strong. But I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on to some hypothetical questions. And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
Okay.
Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Okay. So if you would have asked me this question a month ago, I would have not even had to hesitate on it, because my favorite rapper of all time is Open Mike Eagle. And shout out to Milk, shout out to Spinach. Like they got a song with him and like they had me on the feature, and it's like, oh, I literally...
since your episode will come out after theirs, we talked about it on Spinach episode, which Milk showed up for. So
beautiful. Yeah, I didn't even know he did this. I didn't know. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, Spinach did the episode. It hasn't come out yet in this time. And Milk was hanging out with him, so I brought him on, and that was actually one of the tracks we talked about.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So that like literally like if you like any time over the last like since I've probably been listening to Open Mike Eagle since 2010. Yeah. So anytime in the last 15 years, if you're like, if you could make a song with one person, who would it be? The answer would be him. And now it's happened.
And then you did it.
Yeah. So now I got to find a new reason to keep making music. But I guess like in terms of like other people, like it'd be really cool to like get like a beat from like The Alchemist.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Eagle, like, you know, like I mostly make music with my friends and I love that. But like in terms of like, you know, big artists that like have really inspired me over the years, like that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, who is a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about my guy Dobleon earlier, and like again, that would have been an answer until like 2 weeks ago, but we finally got in the studio. But speaking of Dobleon, his producer Cabana, I love Cabana's beats, and we've talked like every time I say, "Yo, bro, let's make some music." He's like, "Yeah." So it's like one of those things, but it hasn't ever happened. Wow. So I think like that's like hopefully like, you know, within the next couple months we'll get some work in. But Cabana is the guy right now locally that I want to make some songs with.
Hell yeah. Well, everybody, add him in the comments.
Yeah.
Make that happen.
Come on, Banna. Get at me, Banna.
And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limit. And it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power. It was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show. And it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere. It could
be a venue.
Yeah. Where would you want to perform?
I want to perform suspended from the Weyerhaeuser pipes in Springfield, Oregon, my hometown. Like, like when I think of Springfield, I think of Weyerhaeuser. It's a mill town. Like that's like growing. Like
I
not
grew up
so
right outside of Washougal, so
okay. So you know,
I understand
so you
too
know
well.
about mills towns, yeah. So yeah, it's like I feel like it's not so much a huge employer anymore, but like when I was young, like I knew so many kids. Like, oh, my dad works at Weyerhaeuser. So like, that feels like synonymous with Springfield. And so it's like if I'm trying to be the best rapper to ever come out of Springfield, Oregon, I got to play a show suspended from the exhaust pipes, I guess you'd call them, of Weyerhaeuser.
I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of like logistical safety problems with that, but I don't feel like that's as far outside of the realm as reality as like
I'm a terrified
any other
heights,
thing.
though.
Oh well, then that doesn't sound like a good plan at all.
No,
just
but
do it on the ground.
You said it's hypothetical.
True. In this hypothetical situation,
I'm not afraid of heights. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna get you over your fear of heights. We're starting a new series. No, I'm kidding.
And little did you know, it's this new reality show. Face your fears.
Oh, is that not a thing already? Isn't that Fear Factor? Is that what Joe Rogan did?
Yeah, but it wasn't like their specific fears. It's like,
true.
Hey, bro, you got to eat these bugs now.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. All right. But again, we're here to talk about you.
Yeah.
Getting back to it. To wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Okay. I wish I was prepared for this one. Okay. I'm sick of waiting 10 to 15 years for every D'Angelo album.
Ooh.
Like, like D'Angelo, take your time. You make amazing music.
What a good answer.
Yeah.
Yes, D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I know you're watching.
Yeah, D'Angelo, I know you're locked into everything.
Yep.
No, I would love a D'Angelo album before my hair falls out.
You're going to say Frank Ocean for a second.
I would love a Frank Ocean
I was going to say
album
Frank.
too.
I feel like there are little snippets of a possibility.
Yeah.
Quote me on that.
Or like, I was actually just talking about this with Spinach because we were listening to the new Billy Woods album, and there's a feature from Despot on there, and Despot's never dropped an album, and I'm like, this is like, I feel like I've never heard a bad verse from him, so I would love an album. It doesn't seem like he's interested in doing it, but I would love a Despot album too.
I wonder, like, is Despot, like, I don't know, I'm not familiar with the name. Is he like a real person you can like visibly see? Or
Yeah,
is that,
I've seen him live. Like
so he's got music.
Yeah. He's got like, he was like, I don't know that he was. I'm gonna profess a little ignorance to the actual history, but he was like, the label Def Jux. Like okay, so that was LP, like so LP in the early 2000s had this label called Def Jux, and Despot was in and around that orbit. He put out songs then. I've seen him live 3 or 4 times. Like he's got like a 20 to 30-minute set worth of music, but he's never put out an album, and so it's just like little one-off songs on compilations and features and things like that.
Oh, he's like Ross Boss.
I don't know who that is
around here.
Okay,
go back and watch that episode if you want to after this. It's an interesting one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah. So it's like he's been like, I have known of who he is for like the better part of 20 years. Yeah, but he's never put out an album.
Interesting. Can you just take like every song he's featured in and make an album out of it?
I like, there's enough out there that you could do that.
Damn.
I want him to make an album.
Well, I'm sure he's watching as well. Let's get on it. All right. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Cool. What can we look forward to in the next 6 months?
Next 6 months. Okay. So one thing for sure is I got an album with Old Grape God.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a guy who I make a lot of music with. We have a lot of songs. It's basically like picking the ones we want to do, mixing them better, and then putting them out. So I would say confidently, this summer, I would say probably we booked a show. So I think we're gonna try to have that album out roughly around then.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's coming.
Do you have a name for it yet?
I do, but I can't say
That's
it.
Fine. That's fine.
I can't say it. And then me and Spinach and our homie Spenno, who's another like Eugene cat, are working on some music. I have my next solo thing that should be coming up. Like, I don't know exactly when, but I would say safely within the next 6 months that'll be out.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of like the main things, and then probably more features, more one-offs, little things, little bit of that.
Oh yeah. Definitely looking forward to all of that. For this next one, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me by wandering around Northeast Portland. I walk a lot. You'll probably see me. But if you want to find me on the internet, you could probably just Google Something Something Brax, because that's good SEO. and it'll be me, but that's my name on Instagram for sure. And it's also the name of my Bandcamp page for sure. And it's also my artist name on anywhere you can stream music for sure.
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out to all my friends. Shout out to Time Travel 444, the little label crew collective. Shout out to Spinach. Shout out to Milk. Shout out to Dobleon. Shout out to Speno. Shout out to... I don't want to keep saying names because it's going to be like, oh, you didn't shout me out. You shouted out everyone. But if you're seeing this and you know who I am, you know I love you. So shout out to you.
Hell yeah. All right. With that being said, I've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Raw Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But in all of music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a bit of a deep cut. It's one maybe not a lot of people would know. What's one you think everybody should know?
This is a mean question to ask someone. Oh, I'm a music nerd, bro. Listen to the Beatles. No, I'm just playing. So like
I've definitely had some people like recommend, like they were known but they were old, and I was like, all right, there's probably a grip of people who haven't listened to it long enough.
Yeah, for sure. So my favorite album last year came out from a local band, a Portland band, with horrible SEO, but those are my guys, called Guitar. And the album's called Cathy. It's a good band name though, right? It's
such a good band name. It's crazy it hasn't been taken till now.
I know.
Yes,
right?
That would be the worst.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's tough.
Shout outs to them.
Yeah.
It's too good a name.
Yeah.
If they can make it big off the name, they're good. Like, if they can become the word that becomes synonymous with that on Googling, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
Is there more than 4 people in the group?
4 to 5, depending on if the lead singer's playing guitar or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, 4 of you are welcome to come on the show anytime.
But their album last year is called Casting Spells on Turtlehead. And like, I'm not just saying this because it's my friend. I have lots of like all my friends make music, but it's like it was one of my favorite albums of last year, and I still listen to it all the time. And so I really, really recommend people check that out. And as far as like non-local artists, listen to Despot's singles because he hasn't put out an album like we talked about, but they're all good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you for those recs. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Brax.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.